Radio Rahim stateside once again with Eddie Hearn. And you've got a lot of guys coming up that are looking to clear hurdles that are very challenging. The next and the last I'll be talking about is Daniel Jacobs.
Yeah.
People who don't know boxing that well don't recognize how close a fight that is. Like how
50-50.
That's how you're promoting it also, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, but I can't tell you, and I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but it's almost spiritual how much we, as in Team Jacobs and Danny Jacobs, believe he will win on May the 4th. You know, and like everyone knows the backstory, and it's like sometimes you get a bit of rubber green, sometimes things go your way, but they don't just do it like that. You've got to have the ability to put yourself in those positions. If Danny Jacobs wasn't good enough, it doesn't matter how bad his backstory is, you know, about his cancer and how much he deserves a break, you're just not going to win. But when you have the ability of Daniel Jacobs, the size, the speed, the power, the confidence, honestly, I am so confident about this fight. I've never been more confident about a 50-50. And I know it's a 50-50. But I just believe it. I just believe that he is going to win this fight. And I'm saying to American fight fans, get behind your guy here. Do you know what I mean? This guy is an incredible man and an incredible fighter. This is going to be this is up there like Vinny Pazienza, you know, like these amazing stories in boxing. This is right up there if he beats Canelo. And I just truly believe he's going to do it.
Now, there's plenty of conspiracy theories in boxing, if not the world on large, but boxing in particular, and not for, you know, sometimes for good reason. With Canelo's deal with DAZN being so rich, some of the decisions he's gotten have been arguable even well before the Triple G fight. It would seem that Jacobs has even a taller hurdle to clear than simply to be the best on the night. Are you at all concerned about, if not corruption, some implied advantage on the cards? Does he have to do more than he has to do to win?
Yeah, the last part of your question was yes. I don't see corruption in this sport of boxing at all, but I see a global star that will sometimes get the nod in close fights. We don't want that. We want a blank canvas. You know, I've spoke to Bob Bennett at the Las Vegas Commission. I believe in him. I believe he'll put together a group of officials that will give Danny Jacobs a fair crack at the whip. You know what, Rahim? Sometimes it goes the other way. Sometimes there's so much talk about Canelo getting decisions. You may find a very close fight that goes all Daniel Jacobs' way, you know? So I'm happy that we can put together, and Bob Bennett and the Las Vegas Commission will put together a fair group of officials that will give Danny Jacobs a fair crack. We don't want favours. We just want a blank canvas. We want a fair crack at the whip. You score every round individually. Forget Canelo, forget Danny Jacobs. It's just A and B. Who wins those rounds?
Ideally.
And I believe if that is the case, Danny Jacobs will win this fight.
Lastly, being on the same network streaming service with Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, makes for interesting possibilities. Yeah. But this is the first super fight you guys have worked on together, if I'm not mistaken. What's it been like working with Golden Boy? What kind of fights can you guys maybe promise? Are you working together that closely? Sure. Like, hey, let's figure this to that to that?
Yeah, I mean, certainly if they come up, then yes. I mean, Ryder against Lemieux is on that undercard, which was announced today. Really good fight, not of the level of Canelo Jacobs. You know, you've got Danny Roman, or the winner of the Roman Dehaney fight, against Ray Vargas in another unification. You've got Jojo Diaz against maybe Scott Quigg. You've got Jamie Munguia, who can fight Jesse Vargas or Kell Brook. You know, you've got loads of options there. And we've also got, if Canelo was to win, which I don't think he will, you've got Demetrius Andrade as well. He's the undisputed fight. You know, Demetrius is in such a great position because whatever happens in that Jacobs, Golovkin, Canelo triangle, Demetrius holds the final key for the undisputed championship. So he's in a great spot. But our relationship with Golden Boy is very solid. I'm not saying we speak every day, but we both had the same objections to make the zone as successful as possible. And Jacobs Canelo is a massive fight for DAZN. And you need to watch this fight because that fight will cost you $100 or $90 as a one-off pay-per-view on any other platform in boxing. So make sure you support DAZN because it's a changing landscape in the way boxing fans are digesting content, and you're going to get a lot of value.
Well, as a lot of people will be saying next Sunday night, good luck in the wars to come.
Cheers, mate.
I don't know if you're a Game of Thrones fan, but you're definitely playing Game of Thrones in boxing. We look forward to all these events, especially this Friday night, Lomachenko versus Crawler at Staples Center. Thank you, Eddie, for the time.
Cheers.
Radio Rahim with Eddie Hearn.